Both say a person will be saved. Now, understand, in general, whenever you see formulations that say, if you do this, then this, one always has to understand that there are no guarantees for anything in life. It's just like, I was remember before, seems like years ago, but the Shabbos before Slichos. Shabbos before Slichos, we're speaking Shabbos afternoon about the Yud Gimel Midos, the 13 attributes. The Hashem, Korach, B'cham. So the Gemara says, Bris Kerusa, the Yud Gimel Midos, there's a covenant that God has created with the 13 attributes, She'iman Chosros Rekam, that if you say them, you will never come back empty-handed. So someone asked me after the shir, they said, so I don't understand, why do I have to do tshuva? Why do I have to do tshuva at all? Let me just spend the entire month of Elul, Aseret Simei Tshuva, just saying Hashem, Karachum V'chanun, and I'm done. The Gemara says there's a guarantee. So you have to understand something. The Gemara says that there's a covenant with the 13 attributes. She'inan Chosros Rekam. Inan Chosros Rekam means you will not come back empty-handed, which means that when you say the Yud Gimel Midos with Kavanah, there is something fulfilling in that experience. Does the recitation of those 13 attributes give you every single thing you want? Take care of every single problem? No. But you will know such thing as saying 13 attributes, the Yud Gimel Midos, and coming up empty-handed. There's no such thing. You emerge from that experience enriched. You emerge from that experience somehow further evolved. So the Mechaber says over here is a very simple formula in life. If a person learns Torah, if a person gives tzedakah, if a person does tshuva for his misdeeds, bevadei HaKadosh Baruch Hu yoshia oso, the Ribono shel Olam will save me. What does that mean? That all of my problems disappear? That means that all of my tzaras simply evaporate? So it'd be great. The answer is maybe yes, maybe no. But even if all of my problems don't evaporate the moment I do tshuva, tefillah, and tzedakah, something positive happens. There is a positive net effect in my existence. Top of Kof Mem Zayin. V'yitin lochein be'imei mifakti beis asar kimo Yosef HaTzadik. He's getting back to his jail example. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu will allow you to find favor in the eyes of the prison officials. Now, you can understand this either literal or metaphorical. The idea is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if I'm engaged in a life every day, I will say, it's a very simple use. It's a very simple formula. Every single day, I have to be doing tshuva. I will say, I know it sounds strange. It's 2 days after Sukkot, 2 days after Sukkot. It's part of the Yom Noraim also. Here we're talking about tshuva. That it'd be nice to think that tshuva is only something we have to do, for Chodesh Tishrei or for Chodesh Elul. But it's not true. The truth is, I'm not speaking for anyone else. I already have things I have to do tshuva for. It's a little bit embarrassing to say it's been a 1 day out of Yom Tov, but again, there's already things I have to do tshuva for. So tshuva is an ongoing experience that requires our attentiveness each and every day. So the Gemara goes on. A person has to believe that at the end of the day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who frees all those who are incarcerated. Both say, so every single day we say the bracha. Bracha Tashon Kilam Melech Olam Matir Asurim. Everyone did say, what does that mean? What does that mean? It literally means God frees the ones who are incarcerated. God frees the ones who are in jail. So why am I saying that bracha? Remember again, Birchos HaShachar are brachos that relate to our everyday experience, right? I'm tired. Baruch Hu give me koach. Zokiv kefufim. Baruch Shem allow me to stand up straight when I got out of my bed this morning. What is matir asurim? We'll say very important yisod. Each of us are incarcerated by something. Each of us have circumstances that are effectively a jail or a prison for us. And the truth is, a lot of times I've been jailed in those circumstances for a very, very, very long time. And as much as I have tried to go ahead and free myself, I can't get myself out of it. But the amazing part is, by myself, I can't get myself out of it. But if I partner with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if I put my faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if I lead a life every single day, bless you, of tshuva, of Torah, of tzedakah, then I could say, Matir Ribono shel Olam, these are my circumstances. I'm doing what I can to extricate myself from them. I need your help the rest of the way. Right, so we'll stop over here for today. I apologize, a little bit of a shorter share. We'll pick up second paragraph of Kuf Mem Zayin for Shah Tova tomorrow. Sorry. All right, we'll say good morning. Let's begin. Our daf today is Tzadik Beis 92. We are picking up from Tzadik Aleph and Beis 91b, 2 lines up from the bottom. So actually, I take that back. 3 lines up from the bottom. I'm going to do the second word on the line. So we have a beautiful daf ahead of us, a lot of agarata. So we're going to go through parts of it somewhat quickly. Our shir this morning is dedicated by Mr. Isaac Samuel in memory of his beloved wife Esther Bas Rabbi Chil Meir HaKohen. We hope that in the merit of our Talmud Torah, her and the show will have an aliyah in the family and a challah. And by Adam Yudit Ben Zev, we're dedicating the shir this month in honor of the Mishpacha and in honor of the Kehillah. I'm Rabbi Yehuda Marav. So we'll say now we go back to Rabbi Yehuda said in the name of Rav, whoever goes ahead, and we'll say this is actually very interesting. This is literally translated, whoever goes ahead and withholds a halacha from a student. What this is talking about is someone who has the ability to teach Torah, but does not do so. Ki'ilu goes lo minachalas avosa. It's as if he's stealing from him from the inheritance of his fathers. In other words, if you have the ability to go ahead and give someone Torah, but you do not do so, you don't teach them Torah, it's as if you are stealing from the you're stealing from their inheritance. Shneimar Torah Tivalanu Moshe Morasha Kehilas Yaakov. Because as the pasuk says, Moshe Rabbeinu commanded us the Torah, Morasha Kehilas Yaakov. It is a Morasha. It is an inheritance for the Kehillah of Yaakov. Morashahi L'chol Yisrael Misheshes Yimei Bereshis. It is an inheritance for Klal Yisrael from the beginning of creation. Amar Rav Chana bar Bizna, Amar Rav Shimon Chasida. Kalamone halacha mipi atalmid. Let's listen to this. Whoever goes ahead and withholds a halacha from a talmid, which says another way of saying, if you have the ability to teach, and you don't do so, so Chazal lay a lot of fault at your doorstep. They will say, if you take this a step further, what it's saying over here is the following. Every person has the ability to give something to someone else. So some people it's a shir, some people it's musar, some people it's guidance, some people it's itzah, some people it's tzedakah. Everybody has the capacity to give something to the other. And our job in life is to become givers. We spoke about this over Yom Tov. Our job in life ultimately is to figure out what can I give to the other. If I don't give and all I do is take, then by definition there's something deficient in my existence. That's the Gemara saying over here. So over here in the context of teaching Torah. So somebody's able to teach Torah and they don't do so, then even the fetuses in their mother's womb curse this individual. The pasuk says, it quotes over here from Mishlei, Monea bari kavua laom ubracha the rosh mashpir, top of Tzadik Beis. Ve'in la'om ella ubrin. And I've also said the word la'om refers to fetuses and their mother Shneimar ula'om la'om yamat by Yaakov and Esav. Ve'in kavo ella klava, and the word kavo means to curse. Shneimar ma'akov lo kava kel by Bilam. Ve'in bar ella Shneimar nashku bar penyanov ula bar Yishmael amar menakvin oso kikivra. We'll say, listen to this. Ula bar Yishmael says, this is an amazing statement. Somebody who has the ability to learn Torah, someone who has the ability to teach Torah, but doesn't do so, literally, he will be pierced like a sieve. I will say, at first glance, that sounds like, what is he going to kill him? Whatever. So the Maharsha says something amazing. What is he going to pierce him like a sieve? So I will say, just like a sieve can't retain anything, so too a person who has the ability to teach Torah but doesn't do so forgets his learning. And I will say, understand, this Gemara is not just talking about teaching Torah. This Gemara is talking about in general, about sharing your gifts with others. If you have gifts in life, whatever those gifts may be, and you don't share them with others, then what ends up happening is what? You lose them, bless you, you lose them. Because at the end of the day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us what He gives us in life in order to be able to share it with the other. If I share it, good. If I don't share it, then I lose it. So Rabbi says he becomes like an uchla de katzri. Rashi says over here, second line, uchla de katzri, klishal kufsin. This was a launderer's utensil. Shumenukov umezalfen b'mayim ala begad. So apparently the launderer had some type of utensil that was perforated that would sprinkle water on the garments. So just like the utensil can't hold onto the water, so to a person who does not share his life gifts with others will be unable to hold on to those gifts. Ve'im lamdo maschara. So listen to how beautiful this is. Now let's talk about the positive. Let's say I have the ability to teach Torah and I share my Torah with others. So what is that person's reward? Amarav Sheshes zocha lebrachas ki Yosef. So beautiful. Such a person is entitled to brachos like Yosef HaTzadik. Shnei Amar ubracha lerosh mashbir. Ve'in mashbir ele Yosef. Who is the mashbir? The mashbir is Yosef. Shnei Amar ve'Yosef hu hashalit al haaretz hamashbir lechol haaretz. Amarav Sheshes chal malami Torah ba'olam hazeh. We'll say whoever goes ahead and teaches Torah in this world, Zoche umalam deli olam haba. We'll say, listen to how beautiful this is. Whoever teaches Torah, and we'll say, you understand, teaching Torah is lav dafka just giving a shir. Teaching Torah is ultimately modeling the right kind of Torah-dic behavior in this world. Whoever goes ahead and teaches Torah in this world, Zoche umalam deli olam haba, has the great schus, has the great privilege to go ahead and teach it in the world to come also. I don't know who the shir is. Maybe it's the same shir. So maybe we get to learn together in Olam Haba also. Wouldn't that be a treat? Incredible. So Shnei Amar, Umar begam hu yora. Amar Rava, minay l'tches mesim min Torah. So we'll say back to tches mesim for a little bit. So from where do we see a scriptural allusion to tches mesim? Shnei Amar, Yichi Ruvain va'al yamos. Ruvain shall live and he shall not die. Yichi Ruvain ba'olam hazeh. Ruvain will live in this world. Va'al yamos the Olam Haba, and he will not die in the world to come. Ravina says from here. The Rabbi miyishene admas afar yakitzu, eila lechaye ulam ve'eila charfaz duro. Okay, ulam. Excuse me. They're on olam. I'm sorry. V'ashar mehacha v'ata lech lekitz v'tanuach v'ta'amol legorelach lekitz. And both we actually say this in Levaya. This by Daniel. V'ata lech lekitz. You go to the end of days. V'tanuach, and you will rest. V'samod, you will get back up legorelach to your fate lekitz hayomi at the end of days. Amar Rabbi Elazar. So Sam, through some of the psukim, we're just going to go quickly. Amar Rabbi Elazar. Kol parnis shemanhig es atzibor b'nachos zoche umanhigam li'olam haba. Any leader who leads his following, who leads his tzibor b'nachos with kindness. We'll say so. The b'nachos is the Gemara brings down. We've seen a number of times about people who exploit leadership positions to put fear in the hearts of others. This is the opposite of that. This is a leader who leads his sibor benachos. Zocha umanhigam li'olam haba. He'll be privileged to lead them in the world to come as well. Shnei Amar ki merachamam yinagim va'amabue mayim yinahalei. V'amar Rabbi Elazar Gidola dea shenitna bein shtei osios. Dea, wisdom is great, for it was given between two names of God. Shnei Amar ki kel deos Hashem. And what's the Gemara is picking up on over here is the following. It says Deos in between Kel and Hashem. So you see over here that Dea, we're going to define Dea in just a moment. So you see over here that Dea is exceptionally important, which means we'll just translate it for a second as wisdom. Wisdom is important because it's given between the two names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rabbi Elazar says, Gadol Mikdash Sheneitim Ben Shnei Osios. The Beis HaMikdash is also great, because yet the Beis HaMikdash is mentioned in between two names of God. Shnei Amar, Pa'alta Hashem Mikdash Hashem Konenu Yadecha. So here you see Mikdash is between two names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Maskif Ravada Karchino Elameata Kidola Nekama Shenitna Ben Shtei Osios. But one second, one can make the argument with Nekama. We'll say Nekama means vengeance. So the Nekama, divine vengeance, is also mentioned between two divine names. Chsiv Kel Nekamos Hashem. Kel Nekamo Sophia, Amarle, Lemilse Hachinami. To which the Gemara says, you're right. There are times when divine vengeance is absolutely important and absolutely necessary. So at times when it is beneficial, the vengeance is mentioned between the two names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kidu damar ula, shtei ofios halal ulama, achos lemidas tova, va'achos lemidas paros. Let's take a look at Rashi. So Rashi, shtei ofios, it's almost right in the middle of the smaller lines of Rashi. Dichsiv, kel nekamos Hashem, kel nekamos ofia, v'ika trei nekamos, v'chado favet arbayu. So also the idea over here is that divine vengeance in its right time is absolutely beneficial and absolutely important. I'm Rabbi Lazar. So we'll say the Gemara says something amazing over here. Kol adam sheyesh bo deya ki'ilu nivna beis hamikdash biyama. Any person who has deya, it's as if the Beis Hamikdash was built in his days. We'll discuss what deya is in just a moment. Shezen nite min shnei osios, vezen nite min shnei osios. For this one, the Beis Hamikdash was given in between two names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Deah was given in between two names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But Amar Belazar, Kol Adam Sheyesh Bo Deah, which whoever has Deah, L'Sof Misasher, will become wealthy in the end. Shnei Amar, U'B'das Chadar Mimalu Kol Hon Yikar V'Non. Amar Belazar, Kol Adam She'ein Bo Deah, Aser L'Rachim Alav. Now, both say this is a very dramatic statement. So Belazar says, any person who doesn't have Deah, you are not permitted to have Rachmanis on him. I will say, so what does that mean? So first of all, interestingly enough, we daven every single day in Ata Chonin La'adam Das. So we'll say, what are we asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu when we say Ata Chonin La'adam Das? What are we asking for? So amazingly enough, Rav Hirsch is a beautiful commentary on the Siddur. So Rav Hirsch says that, because remember, in that bracha, we ask for a number of things. Ata Chonin La'adam Das Lamid La'enosh Bina. So we see, now we translate all of them as knowledge, but obviously, again, if we're using different words, it must mean that there are different forms of knowledge. So what does Deah mean? So Mizrav Rav Hirsch says, Deah denotes the true perception of the real nature of things and conditions. So Deah represents the ability to see things for what they are, or perhaps better stated, a firm grasp on reality. So a person who doesn't, so the Gemara says over here, Kol Adam She'ein Bo Deah, a person who doesn't have a firm grasp on reality, Aser L'Rachim Alav. You can't have compassion on him. Now, so I'll say, so what does that mean? What it means is that a person, there are many things, you can't acquire a photographic memory, right? Either you have it or you don't have it. The same way that, you can't say acquire a mathematical mind. You have one or you don't have one. However, again, having common sense and being able to see life for the reality that it is, that is something that every single person is capable of doing. Now, the reality is that many people choose not to see reality. Many people choose not to see the reality of who they are, of what they are. Many people choose not to see the reality of their circumstances. Many people choose not to see the reality of their mishpachos. So Rabbi Lazar says over here, if somebody chooses not to see the reality, you can't have Rahmanas on them. In other words, that's a choice they're making. Somebody stricken by a disease, you can have Rahmanas on them. Somebody suffers a financial setback, you can have Rahmanas on them. Someone chooses to live life with their head buried in the sand and not to see their reality. The dafka purposely not to see the reality, Aslu Rachim Alav. Shnei Amar, so this, I'll tell you something. Shnei Amar, Kilo Ambinosu, Akilo Yirachamenu, Osehu, V'yotzro Lo Yechanun. So what says the Sfas says, Sinus, what do you do? How could a Jew not have Rachmanas on another Jew, even if he can't see that? So the Sfas says, only says you can't have Rachmanas on him when he doesn't have Deah. So teach him how to have Deah. Right, so the answer is not walk away from the answer is teach him how to see undig, right? Dig up, undig his head. That didn't make sense. Okay, help him get his head out of the sand, meaning help him see the reality for what it is. So the Gemara goes right. Remember, Belazar, Hankanosin Pitol Mishain Bodea Yisurin Barna. We'll say this is so profound. Whoever gives bread to someone who doesn't have Deah, so suffering comes upon that individual. And also, what does that mean? So remember, giving someone bread, it's just to give this a good means enabling someone. Anyone who goes out and enables someone to continue to live in an alternate reality. Anyone who enables someone to continue to lead a bad lifestyle, to continue to make, we'll say, we do this all the time, whether it's with mishpacha or whether it's with friends. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. We don't want to upset someone. So I see someone doing something objectively wrong. I don't want to open my mouth. I don't want to make it worse. Okay, just understand at the end of the day, you're enabling bad decisions. You're enabling a negative lifestyle. You're enabling ultimately, again, a person to keep their head in the sand. So enabling someone to continue to make bad life decisions, suffering comes upon a person. I often think when the Gemara says something like this, it doesn't mean Baruch Hu is going to strike you with saras. Yisurin bar love means at the end of the day, one day you're going to realize that you made things worse for this person. What you think you're helping, you think you're being kind, you think what you're doing is a chesed. At the end of the day, you're hurting yourself and you're hurting this person. Shnei amar, lachmacha yasim lazar tachtecha. Ein tivuna bo ve'ein mazor el yisurin. Excuse me, ve'ein mazor el yisurin. Shnei amar vayaref hameschalyo v'hudas mazur. V'amar lazar kol adam she'ein bo dea l'sof gola. Any person ultimately, again, who doesn't have dea, at the end of the day, he will be exiled. The most same yisod. If we understand dea as common sense, so it's a person chooses not to live life, seeing reality for what it is. You know, it's like there are some people like this. There are some people who everything that goes wrong, every setback is always someone else. There's always someone to blame. Maybe you have a role in it. Maybe it's something I'm doing. Maybe I'm not making it. No. It's never me. It's always someone or something else. So a person like that, Rabbi, who doesn't see reality for what it is, who doesn't see life for what it is, l'sof gola, such a person ultimately, again, is sent to exile. Now, what does that mean? What it means is they're never going to find quiet time. They're never going to be able to settle down. They're never going to be able to make for themselves a makom, because since, again, they refuse to see reality for what it is, they can never truly put down roots. Shnei amar lachin kol ha'amim mibli das. Amar Elazar kol bayis she'ein divrei Torah nishma bo b'layla. We'll say it's a very profound Gemara. Any home in which words of Torah are not heard in at night, ish ochloso, fire will consume it. Now, what does this mean? If I don't learn Torah at night in my home, then again, the fire will consume. Fire will consume my home. So again, the way the Ben Yoyad understands this Gemara is quite beautifully. Kol bayis she'ein divrei Torah nishma bo b'layla refers to a home where a person is a balabas. A person works. So what does a person need to do when they come home at night? So of course, eat dinner, spend time with your family, but a person has to make sure that they are learning Torah in their home at night. Not dafka, a person has to run out to the base medrash every single night, especially if you're running out to the base medrash in the early hours of the morning, but a person has to learn Torah in their home at night. There has to be Torah that occurs, even if it's for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, or 15 minutes, at the dining room table, on the couch, wherever it is, but a person has to be learning Torah in their home. If not, ish ochlaso. We'll say ish ultimately means the following. Ish always represents taiva. Ish always represents desire. Person spends an entire day working. They find themselves in the material Gashmi world. If I don't end off my day with Torah, that means when I put my head down on the pillow, I'm going to sleep in a state of Gashmis. I'm going to sleep in a state of taiva. Person has to temper that fire of the daily Gashmius with a little bit of Torah. Again, like I said, it doesn't have to be hours, but just a few minutes at night to be able to learn Torah helps to extinguish the fire in the home. Shnei amar kol choshech tam l'tzvuna ta'achla aish l'nofach yara srid ba'ala in srid ela tam tchav shnei amar u'b'sridim asher Hashem korev. Amar Elazar kol she'inu mahana tam dichachamim min nechasav ein rosam bracha. We'll say anyone who doesn't share of his nechasim, of his property, with Talmidei Chachamim, with Torah scholars, doesn't see bracha in this order. We'll say, now what does that mean? What that means is that we have to support Torah. That again, if a person has a parnasa, a person is a professional, a person has a job, a person works, so they have to make sure that they help to support the world of Torah as well. And if I make money, but I don't go ahead and help to support Torah, then Eino Roa Simin Bracha Li Olam. Then I will say, I'm not going to see the bracha. Now, by the way, these Gemaras don't mean that if you don't support Torah, you're going to lose all of your money. There are plenty of people who have tons of money and don't support Torah. The idea is, Eino Roa Simin Bracha means you're not going to feel fulfillment. You know, both like there are plenty of people who have wonderful gashmius, but if for some reason they don't find fulfillment. You see my simcha yom, so they have to get this, or they have to go here, or they have to do this. See this? I don't understand, Ploni. You've got so much. You have so much already. Why do you need this thing? Why do you need to go here? Why do you need to get this? Because it was like when a person isn't using their gashmius in the right way, they don't find fulfillment in it. That's the chab. So if I have beautiful gashmius, but I'm not about tzedakah, or I'm not supporting Torah, I mean, it's really one and the same. I'm not doing good things with my gashmius. Then Eino Roa Siman Bracha means I won't find fulfillment in that gashmius. It lav davka Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to take it away from me. He'll let me keep it because I'm a good person. I'm working hard for it. But at the end of the day, I won't find the fulfillment in it. Shnei Emar Ein Srid La'achlo Al Kim Lo Yachal Tuvo Ein Srid La'Tam Lichacham Shnei Emar B'Sridim Asher Hashem Korei. But Rabbi Lazar. This is actually another amazing Gemara. This is incredible stuff. Anyone who does not leave bread on his table will not see blessing in his home. So I have a hallmark, but 1 second. Rabbi Lazar said that whoever leaves pieces of bread on his table, it's as if he's worshiping Avodah Zarah. Shene Emar, ha'orchim lagad shulchan, v'amamalim l'manim l'masech. So we'll say, the pasuk over talks about that some of the Avodah Zarahs, the way you worship them, is you would set a table filled with food in front of them. So whoever purposely goes there and leaves food on the table, it's like he's worshiping Avodah Zarah. So which one is it? He's leaving bread on the table, a good thing or not a good thing? So lo kasha, hadi kashlima b'hadei, hadalek kashlima b'hadei. To which the Gemara says it's not a kasha. If after the meal I purposely bring out a full loaf, that's when it's like I'm being worshiping Avodah Zarah. But when the Gemara, but Rabbi Lazar says that it's a good thing, that's when I leave pieces of bread on the table. So we'll say, so just you should know, this is a halacha in Shulchan Aruch. The halacha in Shulchan Aruch, this is in Hilchos B'tzias HaPas, this is in Orach Chaim Siman Kuf Pei Sif Beis. The Shulchan Aruch says, Kol mi she'eno mishayer pas al shulchano, eino roa siman bracha. Whoever does not leave bread on his table does not see blessing. Now, what does this mean? So the Mishnah Berurah comments on this. He says, "The tzarich l'shayer kedei she'mizunan la'ani sheyava." But the way the Mishnah Berurah says, will say that when you're having a meal, there always has to be bread on your table. Now, let me say, the outside bread. Why? What does this mean? What it means is that should an ani come to your doorstep while you're having a meal, you should be ready, and we should be ready to be able to supply the ani with something. So the idea is the additional bread on the table represents a willingness to go ahead and give the ani who shows up at my doorstep. Now, I don't know that the halach is therefore saying, there are some, by the way, who are dafka always makbet to have bread on the table. Always like to have bread on the table, even if they weren't washing. So it's dafka, now again, if one's not washing, I don't know if the halach says you have to have bread on the table, but the yesod ultimately is that make sure to always have on your table something extra, so that should an ani come to your doorstep, you're ready to give them something to eat. Now, you're going to say to yourself, but when was the last time? I'm not going to ask the last time an ani showed up at our doorstep. That was 5 minutes ago. And Baruch Hashem, we have the great schos often at our homes, usually not for a meal, usually not for food, usually more for collecting funds. But I will say the idea is a mindset that when a person goes ahead and is having a meal and they have additional food on their table and they say, whether it's the symbolic loaf or whatever it is, and they say, this is for the ani. This shouldn't ani show up. Shouldn't ani show up? I stand ready to go ahead and feed the ani. I also understand what it means on food. First of all, also familial sensitivity to show children and to show ourselves that, by the way, there are people out there who don't have food to eat. It's an important yesod because sometimes the cries of I don't like what's for dinner, or having this again, or leftovers once again. So sometimes it's good for a little bit of reality check that not everybody has something to eat. And also Rabbi conditions us to be balit stuck and to be givers. The idea is that if every single time I sit at a meal, I say to myself, you know what? If an ani shows up at my doorstep and he's hungry, I have something to be able to give him. It's an incredible idea. So the Shulchan Aruch actually goes on and he says, that when the meal is over, a person shouldn't go ahead and put a full loaf on the table, because that's reminiscent of Avodah Zarah. There's a lot more involved in this halacha, but just see this halacha on the books. So the Gemara goes weiter. I have to apologize to you because I'm not doing justice to any of these Gemaras just because of the length of the daf and the shortness of time. But tonight, when you go home after work and you learn based on what we just saw, so you'll review some of these Gemaras. Rabbi Lazar, kalamachlif b'diburo. What kalamachlif b'diburo literally means? Rashi says over here, it's on the left-hand side of Rashi, mishana b'dibur shal yanikar. So Rashi understands that somebody who changes his voice will not be recognizable. And almost basically what it means is someone who doesn't stand by his word. Someone who says something but doesn't stand by his word. Kilo obed avodah zarah. It's as if he's worshiping idolatry. Ksiv hacha, vayisi ve'inav kimisaseya, uksiv hasam hevel hema maaseh tatuim. Both an incredible yisod. What's going to do not keeping your word and avodah zarah? See, what avodah zarah represents is a fundamental lack of allegiance to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Not standing by your word represents a fundamental lack of allegiance to yourself. All you have in life is your word, is your integrity, is your honor. So a person who doesn't go ahead and honor his words, he lacks integrity, he lacks allegiance to himself. Just like an Ovid Avodah Zarah, Kol Mistakil Be'erva. Whoever looks at the Aaron Avos, this refers to over here. We've seen this Gemara before. This refers to a man who looks at the makom erva of a woman. Now, this could be even one's own wife. There's even certain dinei tznius, even between a husband and his wife, about being bistakel of a makom erva. Kashto nin eres. It was like kashto nin eres literally means his bow is emptied. What does that mean? Now she says kashto nin eres koach koshi ever shelo ninar. He becomes impotent. He becomes impotent. That a man essentially, what it's saying is that a man who goes ahead and acts in an over-sexualized way. So the punishment for that ultimately is he loses some of that drive. He loses some of that normal drive. Shene'emar area to orkashtach. The olam have kabel v'kiyim. Kibel v'kiyim. Rashi says over here, have kabel, have anavatichya. A person should always be humble and he will live. So the Gemara says, and we learn this as well, that being humble is good. Bayis afel in poschin lo chalonos liros nigo. Shema is actually very amazing. The halacha is that if there is tsaras in a home, the only way ultimately to examine tsaras in a home is through sunlight. Let's say, however, again, the tsaras is situated in a part of the home that has no direct sunlight. I might have thought the halacha is I have to punch a window into the wall. I don't. The halacha is if there's no sunlight, then by definition it can't become negatzaras. So both say the Gemara is using this as a metaphor for humility. So the idea is that the darkness represents a little bit of the humility. So you see that sometimes when you're humble, you're able to save yourself from a lot of tsar in life. Amr Rab Tavi, Amr Rab Yoshia. Mai dichsiv. What does the pasuk mean? Sha'ol va'ot zerechem eretz lo sava mai. So I say, what does it mean? Ultimately, again, that the grave and the narrowness of the womb will not go ahead and be sated. So the chima in sha'ol itzel rechem. What's the connection between the grave and the narrow and the womb? Elomer lecha ma rechem machnis umotzi af sha'ol machnis umotzi. Just like the womb takes in, that's a reference to bia, umotzi and gives birth. Af sha'ol, so to the grave machnis will take in the body umotzi and ultimately will give it back. A reference to the resurrection of the dead. Tchias hamesim. Talod v'ram kavachomer. But this is a kavachomer. Umar rechem shemachnisim baba chashay motzi mimenu b'kol kolos. Both say the womb, which takes in, meaning during the act of intimacy, all is done quietly. But yet motziin mimenu b'kol kolos. When a woman gives birth, again, there's kol kolos. There are many cries. Sha'ol shemachnisim baba kolos. When a person is buried amidst incredible cries. All the more so what? When the mace is removed from the grave, it's certainly the koli kolos as well. And I will say the difference is those cries are what? Those cries are happy cries. When the grave gives back the individual tchias hamesim, those are happy cries. Mikan shu'ala omrim in tchias hamesim in Torah. And I will say here is a refutation of those who say that there is no scriptural allusion to tchias hamesim. Torah develio tzadikim sha'asid hakadosh baruch hu la'achiosan einon chozrim la'ofran. This is an amazing Gemara. So Torah develio says that the tzadikim will come back to life. Einon chozrim la'ofran. So actually, again, this Yosef Lerner asked this question yesterday at the end of Shir. So also when the tzaddikim come back, tchias hamesim, einon chozrim la'ofran. Now, Izah chozrim la'ofran sounds like they don't die again. Now, if you look at Rashi says over here, Shasrech l'shbaruch l'hachios limos hamashiach, la'achar sheyich yishuv einon chozros la'ofran. Libein limos hamashiach bein li'olam haba, el ha'bas miskayim aleim ad sheyeshuvo b'yichyu la'asava. So we'll say, we're not going to get into this now. Remember, we started this parak on Shabbos, so we discussed the idea that there's a lot of terms that are used in parak chelek, like olam haba, asid, lavo, limos hamashiach. So the Gemara seems to be talking about over here that there's a period of Tchias HaMesim, resurrection of the dead, but then there's also something afterwards called Olam Haba, and that there's some type of death experience that some will experience in between Tchias HaMesim and Olam Haba, except for the tzaddikim. Once the tzaddikim come back, they come back. Shene Emar, V'anishar b'tzion v'anosu Yerushalayim kadosh yomarlo, kalakasav l'chaim b'Yerushalayim. Kadosh the Olam Kayim, just like HaKadosh Baruch Hu exists forever, Avheim the Olam Kayim. So too the tzaddikim, when they come back, will exist forever as well. Amar Beis. I bim tomar o son shanim shas HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'chadish esol amo. But what about the years? What about those years in which HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to renew His world? So I'll say again, what this sounds like over here is some type of period of time between Tchias HaMesim and what we call Olam Haba. What about those years? What happens? God will be alone in the world at that time. Tzadikim mahin osim. What do the tzadikim do at that time? HaKadosh Baruch Hu osalam kinafayim kinesharim v'shatin al pnei hamayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give the tzadikim wings like eagles, and they will hover above the water. So we'll say even this imagery of hovering above the water is very reminiscent of what? So again, I don't profess to understand the timeline of these events, but somehow the Gemara is making reference to some type of rebirth or regeneration of the world after Tchias HaMesim, before the period of what some call Olam Haba. So what are the tzaddikim going to do? So apparently everyone else dies again and comes back again. The tzaddikim don't die again. Baruch Hu gives them wings and they hover over the water. Shneimar, Akin lo nira b'hamir eretz, b'mot harim b'leiv yam, b'shema tamar yeshlan tsar. Maybe you'll say they have tsar tamalomar. V'kol ve'Hashem yachalifu koach, ya'alu evar kan sharim. Yarutzu v'lo yigo, yelechu v'lo ye'afu. So ultimately, again, those who place their faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu will find themselves with renewed koach. And the idea over here is that during this period of renewal, the tzaddikim experience no pain. V'neilef mimesim shechya yecheskel. So we'll say, so why don't we learn out? The Nalev. Now, why don't we go ahead and learn this out? In other words, we'll say, take a look at Rashi for just a moment. Why don't we learn this out from the dead that Yecheskel brought back to life? So also we made reference to this episode already yesterday, right? The episode of Yecheskel, the Atzamas Yeveshos, the dry bones that Yecheskel brought back to life. So if we look at Rashi, Rashi says, first short line on the right-hand column of Rashi, so we'll say, the dead that Yecheskel revived died again. So why don't we learn from here that even the tzaddikim that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings back to life will die again? So it says, so what's actually very interesting? That some say that ultimately, again, that what ended up happening with Yecheskel was not literal, but rather, again, was a mashal. Take a look at Rashi. Be'emes be'bara mashal haya. Shahaya mirames lahem ala galus ki adam meis shechol revachai kach yisrael yashuv min hagalus. That Yecheskel didn't literally bring anyone back to life, but rather, again, it was a metaphor. That the bringing of the dead back to life was a metaphor ultimately for Klal Yisrael experiencing a renewal after galus. The Sanya, Rabbi Elazar or Mesim Shechya Yecheskel amdu al ragleim va'amru shira umesu. Rabbi Elazar says that the dead that Yecheskel revived stood on their feet, said Shira, and died again. Umash Shira Amru. What Shira did they say? Hashem memes b'tzedek u'machaye berachamim. God puts to death with tzedek, with justice, and bring back life with racham. Shua Omer Shira zu Amru. They said the following Shira: Hashem memes u'machaye morid she'ovayal. Rabbi Yehuda Omer emes mashal haya. Rabbi Yehuda says, in reality, you're right, Yecheskel didn't literally bring anyone back to life, but rather, again, what happened? It's a mashal, it's a metaphor. So I'll say, interestingly enough, so what the Gemara is picking up on over here is that Rabbi Yehuda's lashon is interesting. MS mashal haya. We'll say that MS means it really happened. Mashal means it's a metaphor. So the Gemara asks, I don't understand. If it was MS, then it's not a mashal. If it's a mashal, then it's not MS. So what's the pshat? So the Gemara says, rather, what it means to say is the following. In reality, it was a mashal. So we'll say Rabbi Elazar, son Rabbi Yosef Lili says, no, just the opposite. It was not a mashal at all. Rather what? the Mesim, the dead that Yechezkel brought back to life, really came back to life. And what happened? Aluli Eretz Yisrael, they made Aliyah, they went to Eretz Yisrael. V'nasu Nashim, they got married. V'holidu Banim Ubanos, they had children and they had children. Amad Rabbi Yehuda ben Besira Aragla v'Amar Ani Mibnei Bneihem. That was amazing. Yehuda ben Besira says, and by the way, I'm going to tell you it's not a metaphor. I'm the proof that it's not a metaphor. What's the proof? I am a grandchild of one of the people who was brought back to life by Yechezkel. V'halalu tefillin sheniach li abi abba mehem. It was amazing enough, and he said, it says, and I inherited the tefillin my grandfather gave me his tefillin that he himself received from one of those who was revived by Yechezkel. Incredible. Umanihu, supposed to be like, who were these people? Who were these people ultimately, again, who died in this valley, right? Again, remember, were buried in this valley and brought back to life by Yechezkel. Who were they? Umaninu, Mason, Umaninu, Mason, Yechezkel. Who are the people who brought back to life by Yechezkel? Amarav, Elu b'nei Ephraim, Shemanu l'keitz v'tov. These were the children of the tribe of Ephraim, ultimately, again, who had a mistaken calculation about redemption from Egypt. So also listen to this. The Gemara tells the story of Yeshanem, B'nei Ephraim, Shuselach, Ubarad, Beno, V'tachas Beno, V'alad Beno, V'tachas Beno, V'tachas Beno, V'zevad Beno, V'shuselach Beno, V'ezer, V'elad, V'hargum Anshe Gat Hanoladim Baritz, Ksiv, V'yis Abel Ephraim Avihem Yomim Rabim, V'yavo Echav L'nachamo. So we'll say there's an amazing untold narrative here about the Shevet Ephraim. So apparently, again, we'll say Shevet Ephraim had calculated that it was time for the redemption. They made a mistaken calculation, and what happened? They left Egypt. As a result, they were killed by the Egyptians. They actually managed to escape. They got out a little bit, but then they were killed upon escape. So those are the atzamos, those are the bones that Yechezkel brought back to life. Shmuel says, Elu b'nei Adam shekafaru b'tchias hamesim. This is a group of people who did not believe in resurrection. Shneimar, Vayomer Elai ben Adam, Hatzamos Elu kol beis Yisrael, Heima omrim yavshu atzmosenu, va'avda tikvasenu, nigzar alanu. Rabbi Yeria bar Abba Amar Elu b'nei Adam, shin b'hem nachluchish shal mitzvah. These were people, again, who had no moisture of mitzvah in their bone. No moisture of mitzvah. What does that mean? Lachluchish shal mitzvah. Every Jew has some lachluchish shal mitzvah, has something. These were people who were so devoid of anything ruchni that they didn't even have the moisture of mitzvah in them. Shneimar ha'atzamos hayeveshos shimu devar Hashem. These dry bones. The Gemara understands dry bones ultimately, again, to mean individuals who didn't even have a lachluchish shal mitzvah. Okay, Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha Amar, Elu b'nei Adam shechipu es ha'heichal kulu shkatzim v'ramasim. These are people who were so base and so evil that they covered the walls of the Beis Hamikdash with images of shkatzim and ramasim, creepy and crawly things, in order to go ahead and defile the Beis Hamikdash. Shneimar va'avo ve'era ve'hinei kol tavnis remes ve'imo sheketz kol gelulei Beis Yisrael mechoka ala kir saviv. Ksiv hasam ve'avirani aleim saviv saviv. Rabbi Yochanan will say first why. Rabbi Yochanan says Elu mesim shebabikas dura. These are the people who were killed in Bikas Dura. We'll discuss that story in just a moment. Rabbi Yochanan, Mehar Ishal ad Rabos Bikas Dura. These are people who were killed from between the area of Nar Ishal until Bikas Dura. We'll say, what's the story of the year? Shebishah Shehigla Nebuchadnezzar, the second wide line. Shebishah Shehigla Nebuchadnezzar HaRashes Yisrael. When Nebuchadnezzar exiled the Jews, is by the destruction of the first Beis Hamikdash. Hayu Bahem Bachurin Sheyim Meganin Esachama Biyofyon. There were some Jewish young men, I will say, who were so handsome. It literally means that they eclipsed the sun with their beauty. They had such luminescent beauty that literally they eclipsed the sun with their beauty. Vayukastios ra'os osan vishofas zavos. And what happens? The Kasti women saw them and began literally again to experience a flow of blood. They both say in halacha, there's something called dam chiba. Dam chiba means that if a woman becomes there could be a state where a woman becomes very aroused or becomes very emotional, that she could experience a flow of blood. So the women were so aroused by the sight of these handsome Jewish men that they began to have a flow of blood. Amr lebalehan, so they told their husbands, ubalehan lemelech, and the husbands told the king, siva hamelech v'hargum. So the king commanded that these young handsome men be killed. V'adayin hayushafos zavos. But even dead, the corpses of these young men were still exceptionally handsome, and caused them to experience this flow of blood. Siva hamelech v'ramsum. The king commanded and had their bodies trampled. So by having their bodies trampled, ultimately Nebuch, the corpses were disfigured, and as a result, again, the handsomeness was lost. So some say again, okay, fine. So now that we mentioned Nebuchadnezzar, the Gemara is going to speak a little bit about Nebuchadnezzar. At the time that Nebuchadnezzar threw Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So again, remember, we know this story. Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah refused to bow down to the statue of Nebuchadnezzar. As a result, Nebuchadnezzar throws them into the fiery furnace. So God said to Yechezkel, at the moment that Nebuchadnezzar threw Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah into the furnace, so Baruch Hu says to Yechezkel, Lech v'hechia mesim bebikas dura. Go and revive the dead in Bikas Dura. So listen, I remember again, the Imar just got off by saying that the dead in Bikas Dura were Nebuch, these young men who were killed and trampled by the king, by Nebuchadnezzar. So thrown into the Kivshan Aish, God concurrently commands Yechezkel, go and revive the dead in Bikas Dura. Kevan Shachya Osam, once Yechezkel brought them back to life, Bo'u atzamos v'tavchu lo la'osara shapanam. The bones literally went ahead and came and slapped Nebuchadnezzar in the face. Now what does that mean? So the Gemara says, if you look at Rashi for just a moment, Rashi says over here, it's in the left-hand column of Rashi, the second wide line. So our first line, Bo'u atzamos v'tavchu lo la'osara shapanam, v'ochlam v'istar misheme osara atzamos hayalo kalim. Listen to this. So apparently Nebuchadnezzar is incredible people. After he had these boys killed in Bikas Dura, he made like utensils out of their bones. So when Yechezkel brought the bones back to life, the very cup that Nebuchadnezzar was drinking from came back to life and smacked him in the face. So the Gemara says, Amar Mativan Shal Elu. So Nebuchadnezzar asks, understandably, what's going on over here? What's happening over here? Amrulo, Chavereyan Shal Elu Mechayim Eisim Bikas Dura. So his advisors told him, the friend of these guys. Which guys? Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The three guys you just threw into the furnace. Their friend is bringing back the dead in Bikas Dura. Va'amar. And Nebuchadnezzar said, Asoi kama ravravin. Vitamhuhi kama takifin malchuse malchus alam b'shaltane amdardar. So it's like something amazing happens. In this very moment when Nebuchadnezzar realizes the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he begins to sing Shira. He begins to say how great HaKadosh Baruch Hu is. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Yutzak zav rosech l'soch piv. Let molten gold be poured into the mouth of this Rasha. Also Rasha, shel mali lo ba malach b'sitra piv. In that moment, the malach came, hit Nebuchadnezzar in the mouth, and shut him up. So if the malach would not have stopped Nebuchadnezzar from singing Shira, Bikesh lignos kol shiros ishbachos shamar dalet b'sefer davos. This is amazing. Had the malach not stopped Nebuchadnezzar from singing Shira, the entire book of Tehillim would have been hidden away. So what does that mean? That Nebuchadnezzar's Shira would have been even more beautiful than David HaMelech's Sefer Tehillim. Which was like, do you understand the profundity of that statement? Which makes sense. Because wherever you find the greatest rishus, wherever you find the greatest evil, that's also where there is the greatest capacity for greatness as well. That's why, again, the same way that Chazal bring down, that had Esav chosen to channel his kogos in the right way, he would have been greater than Yaakov. He would have been greater than Yaakov. Nebuchadnezzar, when he chooses to sing Shiro, says Hishbachos to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, could have sang even greater Shira than David Melech Yisrael. It's incredible. We'll say 6 miracles occurred that day. This is talking about the day that Nebuchadnezzar threw Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah into the Kivshan. Remember, it's a busy day. So Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah are in the Kivshan. They're in the furnace. Yechezkel is bringing back the dead in Bikas Dura. Nebuchadnezzar's flatware is slapping him in the face. So and he's singing Shira to HaKadosh Baruch Hu on that day. 6 miracles occurred on that day. Eluhein, we'll say these are the 6 things. Number 1, Safa Kivshan. So Nebuchadnezzar apparently had this very large cauldron where he used to go ahead and throw people into if they would not bow down to his idol. This is not unique for Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Anyone who would not pledge their allegiance to the Nebuchadnezzar to the Kivshon. So this Kivshon was so large that it was embedded in the ground. Miraculously, it came out of the ground. Now, the reason it came out of the ground is in order that people should publicly see Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah miraculously emerge from this Kivshon. Next, Nifratz HaKivshon, the wall of the Kivshon was breached. This again was all in order for people to see Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah walk out. Next, Behumak Sodo, there was a crack in the foundation of the Kivshon. We'll see the power of this. The Nepach Tselem Alpanav, the large statue of Nebuchadnezzar, fell on its face. The Nisrfo Arba Malchios, the four royal families who helped Nebuchadnezzar were all killed out. They were burned. Cheskel brought back the dead. The Kulu Gemara. So I'll say all of these miracles are based on our tradition. The Arba Malchios Kra. But the death of the four royal families who helped Nebuchadnezzar, this I will say is a pasuk. Where's the pasuk? So you will see this is Sefer Daniel. Tichsev unebuchadnezzar Malka shalach lemichnash ulaach shtarpena. Excuse me. Ulaach shtarpenaya singya pachava are it's like Aseres Bnei Haman. Adar gavzia gavdia sorry. Gidavaria ditavaria tiftaye v'chol shiltone midinisa lemeisi lechanuka samadi hekem Nebuchadnezzar Malka. So we'll say, so it lists all of the families of Nebuchadnezzar. Uksiv, and then I will say a little bit later, Isi Guvran Yudon Uksiv. Uksiv umiskanshin achshtarpia segaya parbasa va'adavi malka chazle garealach. So we'll say the idea over here is that in the first pasuk it lists a number of families, and in the second pasuk it lists the same families less 4. What happened to those 4 families? I will say. Ultimately, again, they were killed on that day for the help they gave Nebuchadnezzar, ultimately in establishing the cauldron and killing Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. We'll stop over here for today. We'll pick up in Mirat Hashem, second to last line. Shabbat tomorrow.